Hi UNCW, I'm Mikaela Fleming with Port City Spotlight. I'm sitting down today with Amy Feith to talk about the upcoming production of the Vagina Monologues coming here to UNCW at Lumina Theater. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thank you for asking me, Mikaela.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, how are you involved in the Vagina Monologues? What is there that you do currently that relates to it?
So I'm the executive director of the Carousel Center, and it is your child advocacy center here in the Port City area, and we are one of the beneficiaries of this production of the Vagina Monologue, actually a long-standing beneficiary of the Vagina Monologues production here at UNCW. So that's one connection. Other connections I have is that I was working at the Rape Crisis Center as the director of the Rape Crisis Center when we were fighting to get the Vagina Monologues to be allowed to be presented here in Wilmington back when Eve Ensler first rolled those out in 1998. So I guess that is kind of telling you a little bit how old I am. But we fought really hard to make sure that this important social justice theater production was able to be seen here. Now, in the first years, we weren't allowed to call it the Vagina Monologues. We had to call it the V Monologues, because of course we couldn't say that big scary word. And then, of course, over the years, I performed in the production. I was the director one year, and of course, I'm a huge supporter of it, because it is the one time a year that I get to bring out my boas and wear a different colored boa to the show and be able to enjoy everybody else seeing it for the first time, which is always fun.
Yeah. Can you give us a brief history of what the Vagina Monologues are and why they're so important?
Well, Eve Ensler is a playwright, and she, of course, as many artistic people, they look for different muses or different ways to be inspired for their work, and I think that she set out to talk to women about their vaginas. But what she found out from over 300 interviews and now probably 3 million interviews that she's done over the course of the time that it's been in production all over the world, is that there was a common theme that happened when you ask women to talk about their vaginas. And several of those themes happen to center around violence against women and girls and experiences of women and girls having to experience childhood sexual abuse or rape as young women and adult women, domestic violence, genital mutilation. All of those themes sort of started coming up around the world, and so she thought she was going to be writing a play about vaginas that was going to be probably funny and campy, etc. And it is. But the other piece of it is that it's so important in the message that she brings to the table with the Vagina Monologues, talking about real women and girls issues around the world, and how rape and domestic violence and genital mutilation are systematic experiences of women and girls globally.
That's a big reason that the Vagina Monologues coming to UNCW is so important, because I remember when I transferred here, I transferred in last year as a junior, and I got to be a part of the Vagina Monologues, and it was so exciting to be around such feminism and information, and I loved it so much that I'm now directing it this year and performing in it with some other amazing people. And I've noticed that this year, the cast is so young. We have freshmen, we have sophomores, and it's so exciting. What do you think that says about the Vagina Monologues and this generation of students?
Well, I think that this generation of students is probably, they were being born into a world, and they're probably our first generation born into the world where there wasn't a Vagina Monologues. Right. So these folks that are born now and that are now young men and women, at UNCW, they never knew a world where the Vagina Monologues was an important part of a national conversation on an annual basis. They didn't have to fight to have it be available to come and have fun, and you laugh and you cry and you're concerned, and so I think it's really great that this is like the original generation of Vagina Warriors, because they never knew a world where Vagina Monologues weren't being performed all over the world. And so I think that that's what motivates them too, is that they get to be a part of something that's happening globally all over the world during January through April. Every corner of the world, performances of the Vagina Monologues are going on to raise funds for agencies and communities just like ours that are providing direct services to victims of crime, mostly for women and girls that experience domestic violence, sexual violence, or child sexual abuse. So I think it's really inspiring when young folks get involved in this production, because we do have to pass the baton.
Absolutely.
We old ladies can't be doing it forever. And it is important to pull that next generation in so that we're all working together, because it's not just about women or girls or little girls, it's about men, it's about communities, it's about transgender people, it's about LGBTQ, it's about, you know, it's about everybody that experiences any kind of oppression or violence has a vested interest in why the Vagina Monologues needs to be performed every year, because it crosses all of those isms that we experience on a daily basis as part of the human race.
And it's exciting that they're so young and they're getting so involved, because
Yeah.
that gives us hope that when we're gone, it's going to keep going and that fire's still going to be there. And so I'm really excited. It's going to be this February 10th and February 14th. We're kind of advertising as a Galentine's Day, so bring your partners to it, bring all your single friends. It's going to be such a great time. And I want to thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much for asking me.
Absolutely. If you have a sweet tooth for chocolate and red wine like I do, then you better not miss Wilmington's Wine and Chocolate Festival. This upcoming weekend, the festival will take place downtown at the Coastline Convention Center on Friday from 7 to 10 p.m., Saturday from 11 to 6, and Sunday noon to 4. There'll be live entertainment featuring L.J. Johnson and the Port City All-Stars, and a pinch of basil, an internationally renowned comedian. Come and taste wine from the best wineries the Carolinas have to offer, and sweet goodies from the region's signature chocolatiers. If you're looking for live music this Saturday, look no further. Massive Grass will be playing at Ironclad Brewery, January 30th at 8 p.m. If you want to hear music by local bands Stray Local and Brothers Egg, make your way to Winter Park Presbyterian Church, or go to the Calico Room to hear music by Pigeons Playing Ping Pong and Groove Fetish. Come out to the main library in downtown this Saturday to see a free screening of The Loving Story. This engaging documentary recounts the lives of an interracial couple living in Virginia during the segregation era. The film retells the true story of the couple's abrupt arrest and details the complex legal battle that ensued. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Until next time, I'm Mikaela Fleming, and this has been Port City Spotlight, spotting the life in your city.